We good? Mike?
And we're going to go ahead and go up. And you're back in the studio, 88.7 FM, WGVE, Gary's only FM station. You all again, forgive me. I got this whole head cold going, congestion. My voice doesn't sound as very whitish as it normally does. Very, I don't know if very whitish is the right term I wanted to use. But either way, you guys in the studio, I want to show some mad love to Jonette, who came through the studio and blessed the mics. She's always giving us some tips and just some ways to be smarter consumers as it relates to real estate, making sure we're making the right decisions. And she'll be back with us again next month. But in the studio, across from me in the hot seat, have Andre Renee, who is he owns a publishing company, correct?
Indeed.
And he is an author. And so I don't want to, do him an injustice by introducing him. I want him to introduce himself. Andre Renee, how you doing?
Thank you, buddy. Hey, I'm doing great. I'm outstanding. We have a publishing company.
Okay.
Named Andre Renee Writes Publishing Company.
So is Wright your last name?
No.
Oh.
No, my last name is Harris.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
that's so creative, right? That's perfect.
No, yeah. Andre Renee Writes Publishing Company. We're LLC.
Okay.
Right now, we have children's books that we're promoting, but in reality, we have 20 books.
20 books.
20 books.
So tell us some of the names of the titles of the books, right?
Okay. First of all, we want to start off with saying that we have a monster pediatrician.
Oh.
She is one of our newest clients. We're going to publish her book, format, spell check, the whole nine.
Solid.
We have an Army captain from Indianapolis. We're going to publish her book as well.
Okay.
And then I have 17 books that I've written over the years.
Wow.
We updated them. The children's books is part of, I would say, my legacy. I'm not thinking that I'm going anytime soon, but at the end of the day, you want, when they looked at your LinkedIn page or your WikiLeaks page, and they say your bio, you want to have something that you can leave substantially behind. And I believe giving back to the most important people in the world, which is the little people, I think by doing that, we're leaving a legacy. So we're not just children's book authors. We have a book called Seven. Seven is a short story book.
Okay.
We have a book we call Lives Taken, A Road to Redemption. That's a murder mystery.
Ooh.
We have one of my favorites, because I love it, poetry.
Okay.
Inspirational Cafe. And Slugline, Have You Had Your Cup Today?
Ah.
And so what we're doing with poetry is it's a different spin on poetry. We're not just doing poetry, we're doing positive quotes.
Okay.
And we have t-shirts, coffee mugs, we have hoodies, license plates. I have one on my car now with positive quotes. The one that's on my car has my name, Andre Renee Writes. So the first half of my poetry book is poetry. The second half is positive quotes.
Okay.
And with our definition of the positive quote. And so I really love the poetry section of it. Once we release that book, we're going to have a lot of poetry slams in the area, and whomever would allow us to show up.
Okay.
We have another book that's, I've been in business almost 30 years.
In the publishing business?
No,
Okay.
I have a janitorial company.
Okay.
So I started my first business at 21
Wow.
legally. As a child, we was told, get a shovel in the winter and a lawnmower in the summer.
Yeah.
And there you go. And so I've been doing, making my own way all my life.
That's great.
So we have a book that's called The 7 Facts You Should Know Before Starting Your Own Business.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And thank you. And I'm the author of that book.
Okay.
And that's history of what I've been through. When you're in business, you have business friends.
Yeah.
And business friends, they love, a great business person love to hear themselves talk.
Yeah, that's true. I like to hear myself talk as well.
Oh, well, there you go. And so I'm a sponge. I like to soak up.
Great.
And everyone thinks like, well, you're a business, you're this rich guy, or you this, and there's things you should know about business. And so outside of talking about money, we're going to talk about the things that you didn't expect, like no money, or 941 taxes, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's not a boring book, but it's a book of reality.
Okay. Now, I'm curious as it relates to the publishing side of what you do. You've got so many sites now that offer free publishing or cheaper ways to publish.
Indeed.
How do you find yourself competing with those ways to kind of, I don't want to say cut corners, but ways that might be more accessible to budding authors?
Well, those are probably what you're talking about is PODs, print on demand.
Yeah.
And that's not publishing.
Uh-huh.
That's when you submit the work correctly.
Gotcha.
Then they will print on demand.
Uh-huh.
Amazon, Kindle is a digital site, but Amazon, we actually have our books on Amazon in Create Space. But we have printers as side printers as well.
Okay.
Print on demand requires you to have the proper format.
Gotcha.
And so there's no getting around our illustrations.
Gotcha.
There's no getting around our editors.
Gotcha.
So and then it has to be formatted.
Oh.
That cost. So when you sit down, I tell you that up front.
Okay.
And that cost is nothing in comparison with marketing.
Ah.
So just because...
So you take all of that, the marketing, the illustrations, as a publishing company.
Indeed.
Awesome.
We have everything.
So tell us, let's get to the nitty-gritty of the publishing company, of Andre Renee Writes, right? So what are all of the services that you guys offer?
We offer everything. We offer, if you writing a children's book, which is kind of popular now.
Is it?
It is. It's a lot of demand for us.
I wanted to add, why is that? Because I've been seeing a lot of people write children's books, more than I saw 2 years ago. It's just, why is some of that?
Because publishing companies like myself that have a small foothold in the industry, we know that there's no one writing. There's no authors actually writing children's books for people of color.
Uh-huh.
And if you notice, my children's books are people of color.
Yeah.
Now, I have other books that's not, but there's a high demand for that because there's no market. And what I'm assuming, because what I'm hearing the chatter is, if we could corner that market, it could be a profitable also, but also informative. Because when we write books for people of color, we want to also make sure we put in the foundation of great characters and love and so on and so forth. Kind of right the ship, so to speak, because when you hear people of color, it's always a negative overtone.
Right.
And so if we could right the ship in the beginning, which is my attempt, it's more of a ministerial thing.
Okay.
I do have a spiritual background.
Okay.
And so I do want to interject that into my books. Not saying that I have Christian books, but I have positive books. So the kind that if I would say or okay to my mother, I have a red face. It's always yes, ma'am. It's always respect. And so we want to sit down with our children and bring that back. So the buzz is out. If you're writing children's books for people of color, you may have an opportunity to come into this. A publishing company may want to hire you. You write a query letter, which is like an audition letter. And if you make it, then you will get signed. And if you get signed, then 4 years later, your book is out.
There you go.
That's traditional. So I said, well, I've been in business for a while. I kind of know the ins and outs. Let's do some research. Let's not write a query letter. Say, hey, I went to Purdue and I studied psychology and I have this ordination and in the church and I have all this. Instead of doing all of that, I became the publishing company. When you write a book and you go to these paid print-on-demand sites, you're actually not a published author. You're just a guy who wrote a book that's for sale.
Gotcha.
In order to be a published author, you need all the tools. You need an editor. You need an illustrator. You need someone who will format your book. You need all the elements in place. So we formed all the elements in place. Now we're a publishing company. And so anyone that published to us, you are a published author.
Wow, that's great. That's great on so many levels because you not only did you create your own platform, but you're creating a platform for others to be able to come. You know, it's a black-owned business. I think that's always great to have as well.
Appreciate it.
Colin Kaepernick came out of me right there. So tell us more about some of the services. I kind of got you off track. I apologize. So marketing, right? You deal with the marketing of the author as well. Correct?
Indeed. We just today. Our videographers who constructed our commercial.
Okay.
And also he was there, that company was there at my first book signing.
Okay.
They are now a marketing team.
Wow.
He just aligned himself with a global marketing team. And the blessing there is he thought about us as one of the clients. We have local marketers. We have the wonderful Chelsea Stahl, who's my PR locally, and We are now working with global marketing so we can get you out there. We just don't want you to put something on Create Space or Amazon, because Amazon owns everything.
Right.
I have to check myself sometimes, make sure they don't own me.
They own Whole Foods.
Indeed. Indeed.
If you bought Whole Foods.
Right. There you go.
Bad. You bad.
Right. You are bad. And their stock went up immediately. So
yes.
So it's like they bought it for free. But at the end of the day, we are aligning ourselves. I didn't say this. We started this in April.
Really?
And we have 3 books out.
Just in April.
We legally started in April. The ideas for these books, the books that's out now, I wrote.
Okay.
We align ourselves with a wonderful illustrator, and she's magnificent. We send her the books. She comes up with ideas. We collaborate. 60 days later, we have sketches.
Wow.
And what I love about my illustrator, kind of envy, when people pick up the books, the first thing they say is, wow, look at the pictures.
But that's essentially...
Yeah, but I wrote the words. I want somebody to say the words look good.
But then, the creed is you can't judge a book by its cover. And I think that sometimes reading the books, that may not be true. I think sometimes people judge the book based on the cover. Indeed. But what works for your benefit, I'm assuming, is not only are the illustrations good when they see them, when they open the book, right? Indeed. The words are going to capture you. Because the book will catch your attention, the cover, but the words is what will keep you, right?
Indeed.
Awesome.
And teach you. To recap and to finalize what we offer strongly right now, we offer formatting your book. We offer editing your book. Editing is very important. And if you have a book and you want to come through us, please do not wear your emotions on your sleeve.
Because I've seen major books published by people in the editing. There might be grammatical errors or a lack of proper punctuations, misspelled words.
Indeed.
How do you misspell a word when you got the red squiggly line that appears, right?
It does. And here's the thing: it happens.
It happens.
So
how thorough are you all?
We go through. We self-edit.
Okay.
We professionally edit, which they're contractors to us.
Okay.
We submit through our illustrator, then we re-edit, because in some instances, the intricacies of the book, she has to retype the words.
Yeah.
So sometimes she may miss a word here and there, that's not a job to get it totally right.
Right. And
so we resubmit that to the editor to make sure that everything is right, and then we self-edit one more time, because it's our talent that's on the line. And so our product, we want to make sure when you send it to editing, you could write, the dog went down the street and barked at the kids. When you give it to the editor, it could say the cat sat on the porch. And you're like, well, what are you doing? Because sometimes editing, they think they went to college for editing and this grammatic thing, and they feel like, hey, I have a master's in this. I needed to change the storyline. So sometimes you have to tell them. It's like, no, don't do that. So it's a back and forth. It's dramatic, but once you get past and get your idea on page, that costs, because it's time. And so once we have the editing completed, once we have the illustrating completed, we format the book. Now you have a book in your hand.
Gotcha.
Comes to marketing. And that's where it depends on how much you want to invest in this. Depends on the royalties that you receive.
Right.
If you say, I want this around the world, you probably will see a check 2 years from now. If you want to do something locally, then that's fine, because you can make sales if you go to event to event to event that we will help create.
Right.
So we are not Random House. We are a company that has financial backing. We received a loan for this business.
Right.
So somebody believed in us, and we believe in ourselves. And we have events that we create that you can not only get your exposure out there, but you can sell books too.
Solid.
So that's what we offer.
All in one.
All on the one.
Smart shopping.
Indeed.
So, question.
Let's say smart shopping one more time. That felt really
smart shopping.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Now, how do you go about choosing which clients to take on? Is there like a process or an application? Because then you get people who have an idea for a book. They say, hey, I got a book. I wrote about my last relationship. I want y'all to publish it, right?
Right.
You get people with these ideas all the time, but how do you, separate and differentiate from? Is this somebody you want to be connected with? How do you go about that process?
Everyone is put off to 2018,
Really?
unless you have we have a project right now with the pediatrician. We have another aspect of our books. So let me start with this.
Okay.
I have I've written 6 children's books that's complete, 3 that are ready for sale. That's on sale. You can go to my website and purchase them. We dealt with living life on purpose, which is counseling, Christian counseling business.
Okay.
And when the owner saw Miss Greta Aquanet Ivy, when she saw the books, she automatically saw something that would help with the mental health field. She saw some of the core values that human beings need.
Yeah.
So out of the 6 books, 3 of the books are becoming workbooks.
No.
And so, and that's wonderful. So we will have a joint venture with Living Life on Purpose, counseling services.
Solid.
And so we're excited about that because, going to school for psychology, that realizing that you put something together that can more further help children. And those workbooks will be geared towards schools and therapy offices and things of that nature. So it won't be really geared towards the public, but it's there.
Gotcha.
And so what we're doing now is we have so much material in-house, we're focusing on our material.
Gotcha.
Now with the pediatrician at a monster, we want to deal with her because it's on the same lines of what we're dealing with. And so everybody will have to wait till January and first come, first serve.
Are you already, I'm assuming you're getting influx of people who, petitioning
about it. Yeah,
really?
Our emails are breaking.
Really?
As they say, breaking the web, but we didn't do that. I mean, they're not doing that, but there's something every day.
But that's got to be a great feeling, right? That's one of the, I don't want to say it was a milestone, but that's a goal for any entrepreneur.
Indeed.
You want the emails coming in with potential clients. So how are you finding yourself managing or pre-managing 2018 clientele?
If you want something done 2017, we have a service. It's a very inexpensive service.
Okay.
We will put your book together, all facets of your book, but you self-promote. $5,500. Can't beat that.
Can be.
That's almost cost. But if you have a dream, I want to help you with your dream. So this is my way of giving back to the person who says, I believe in myself. And then once you get your book out there, and 2018, if you come like, I couldn't do it myself, can you help? Then that's where we dive right in.
Okay.
And that's when all the ink is dry on our global contracts.
Gotcha.
For marketing globally. Even there's certain names that you hear every day that's marketing firms we just didn't realize. So when we get contacted by these marketing companies, that's what make you feel good. Because you're so small, the profits is just beginning to come through the door, and a giant's like, hey, you caught our attention.
Yeah.
We want to market you. Yeah, what they really saying is we want you to sign this contract so we can get some money out of you. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if I don't make money, how can they keep me on as a contract? Same way with a person who wants to self-publish. We can make you a published author, but you have to promote yourself this year. And then 2018, as I stated, first come, first serve.
Things change. How do you find yourselves as a company kind of competing with the market? I know that ebooks are really popular now. And a lot of people, studies showing that the attention span of the average reader may not be the same that it was 10 years ago. So how do you find yourselves as a publishing company kind of staying above that curve?
Well, if we speak with the children's books, we try to bring back what I grew up. I'm 46, so I grew up some time ago.
I wouldn't have known it.
I know, right? Thank you.
Found the youth.
Thank you. And so what our parents used to read to us, and I'm sure they're doing that now, but we didn't have PlayStations and so on and so. We have to go to a physical arcade to play an arcade. So now there's everything right in the palm of your hand. We want to use that same technology to put our books. Our books are written for the parent to read to the children.
Gotcha.
Because there's questions involved.
Ah.
We have a book called I'm Not Afraid of Bullies.
Okay.
You want to know, you want to explain this to him. There's twists and turns. We have a book, we had a pre-read in Indianapolis. It's called The Monster in Green. And that's a spinoff from My Freckles Make Me Pretty.
Okay.
And My Freckles Make Me Pretty, she's talking to her dad over via Skype because he's a captain in the Army. And he's overseas protecting the world. Yeah. And so every Saturday she runs to the computer, My Freckles Make Me Pretty. And she said, hey, Daddy. So that's that book. The book after that corresponds with that same book, The Monster in Green. Well, she's trying to figure out how did the monster just take out her dad.
Yeah.
And now you have to explain that. And so when you read this book, and this book deals with grief and loss, because we have that. Unfortunately, there's a 4-year-old whose dad is not coming home. This is a tool that will help you deliver the point of Daddy's not here with us, but he's here in the heart. And it, from start to finish, it helps you with it. Because some people don't have the tools, mental health wise, to say, well, Daddy's not coming home. And we can't push that off because we have to teach our children life is life. People say life, it's not fair. Life is just life. You have your ups, you have your downs, and your in-betweens. But our children should be our main focus. So in the Monster in Green, the Monster in Uniform, it helps with the loss of a loved one. So how we stand out, we bring something to the market that's needed.
So you're addressing issues.
We're addressing all issues.
I love it.
We have a same-sex book.
Really?
And it's here. It's legal, and people need to understand, how can we explain this to young adults? It's like, why do Timmy have 2 daddies? Or why do Janie have 2 mothers? And we found a way creatively to explain that kind of cautiously.
Gotcha.
Because we're not taking sides.
Right.
At the end of the day, we are the human race. And so we have to coexist with love. And that's what we're trying to interject in our books.
Great point. Great point. I remember coming up in elementary school. I'm only 29. So I remember, though, when I was coming up, this storyline, Goosebumps, were really popular. I remember getting like a bunch of Goosebumps books, and over the summer I would just read those religiously. And that was my thing, right? And the older I got, the less I saw like my peers really reading, and even myself. And I kind of had to get back into that because of the games, the PlayStations, like you mentioned. So how important is it for you to kind of, not you, I don't want to put this responsibility on your shoulders alone.
Appreciate that.
But how important is it for us as a society to kind of implement the importance of reading back into the culture? Because I forgot who said it, the quote, if you want to have anything from a black person, put it in a book. So how do we get back to the importance of reading in our society?
That's a tough question.
Just from your standpoint.
It's still a tough question. How can we get society loving books again? We read constantly. We just have to remember. Well, let me backpedal. It goes back to material they want to read. Because you have people at one point, there was a lot of urban books. Matter of fact, I have a friend, I have 4 of his books.
Zane.
No. I don't know Zane personally, but I have another guy who's he's almost popular. And he's connected with the Donald Goines family, his son and whatever. And if you don't know about Donald Goines, great books. But it's urban, and I have his books, and I read them with excitement. And I was like, I know this guy. And because I grew up in Gary, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Gary resident, or a Gary native. And so you can kind of relate. So those books, they sell millions of copies. Because people love that. Now, I don't know if that boom is still occurring today.
Well, the reason I asked, and you answered that perfectly, I kind of put you on the hot seat for a second, but you answered that good because you see a lot of books now that their popularity are turning into movies, such as 50 Shades of Grey, or the Harry Potter series, or Twilight. The list goes on and on. So what's the trend? There's a couple of questions I want to ask in that. So what do you see? Is that the end result or a goal for any author or publisher to see their books turned into movies, or is that kind of like a sellout move, right? So what do you think? I'm curious to know your position or your opinion.
Let's go to the sellout move. That's not a sellout move. That's a graduation to the next level.
Gotcha.
That's your opportunity for people to see your written word visually.
Gotcha.
That's evolution.
Gotcha.
That's wonderful. My book 7, one of the short stories is a movie script.
Okay. So you went into it with the idea.
Oh, indeed.
Okay.
I was in the movie Ali. I was an extra in the Chicago scene.
I knew I recognized you.
Look out now. You want my autograph. I know, right? And so we It was when he was the Truth Hurts was singing on the back of the stage, and Will Smith was like, I don't know if I can repeat it. I don't want to get sued, but he was saying his lines, and we was there 16 hours, so I knew his line. I know, right? And so I'm up there like, that's Will Smith, but that's Jada. And so you dig, we was like really feeling that, and I was like, I had a book then in my head, so I was telling anybody who would listen, this is the book that I have. How do you feel? And it's like it's a great book, and that could become a movie. So as I was putting this business together in my head 15, however many years ago it was, I was remembering, let's have a movie script. Mm-hmm. And then it came to me. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, we all want to reach a plateau, the highest plateau. Not every author, I think, imagines being a screenwriter mm-hmm. or having their book turned into a movie. I saw the interview with the lady from Twilight, and as an author, she was rejected so many times. And now one person who said yes, Hollywood knocked on her door. So obviously, that was a benefit for her. Me, outside of having the movie script in the back of my head, the passion of writing.
There we go.
It's a joy to sit and pad and pen. I go to Starbucks and I have a pad and pen, old school, and it feels so good to put that on page. Now it'll feel good to input that into the computer, but at the end of the day,
it takes a little longer.
Especially when you
are. Well, you're talking to somebody with 3 notebooks full, so I understand.
There you go. And so when you are allowing your passion to unfold, it's just the biggest smile mentally and sometimes physically. And so when you do write, and if you have an idea for Hollywood, the idea is going to be there. And as a business person, we're going to promote and push in that arena. But first and foremost, our passion, because it's not work. So we're going to push. I'm going to push the books that I've written, and I'm going to push the company. And when that door opens for Hollywood, because it will, then we're ready.
I loved it. Great answer. You're driven by passion.
Indeed.
And you find in this industry, not just in publishing or being an author, but in any facet of entrepreneurship, mm-hmm. a lot of people are driven by profit, right? Indeed. Bottom line. Right. And then you're never going to win. What I tell people is if I never get the amount of money I anticipate to make, the fact that I'm doing what I love, mm-hmm. I'm always winning, right? And mm-hmm. it sounds like you have that same mindset.
Right.
You're driven by the passion of it. You just love to do it, even on a bad day, financially, or a day where you're not putting out as much material product you want to put out. Mm-hmm. You're still in a good position,
right?
Because you're doing what you love to do.
Indeed, you can have 20,000 books sold opposed to 1 million books sold, and you have 20,000 people that have the ability to know what was inside your mind.
That have been impacted.
Indeed, I love to tell stories.
Awesome.
We have a pilot that we're working on.
Oh, he's excited. He just started smiling.
Yeah. And we're filming pretty soon.
Okay.
And we're self-filming because it's a pilot, and we have the means to put things together.
Gotcha.
Because we know a few people. And so it's kind of a comedic stand because I do write jokes every blue moon. I don't consider myself funny, but if you give me opportunity, I'm sure you'll laugh. And so this pilot goes towards the movie script. Okay. And in a way, it's kind of like I am. Because once they see the pilot, whether they say yes or no, it's like, it's funny, but you probably have this already, or you're repeating something to someone else there, which I know we're not. It's uniquely, and it's beautiful, and it's going to be filmed right here.
Awesome.
And it's so wonderful. I kind of want to say what it is so bad, but we don't have anything patented.
I got you.
Not patented, copyright.
I got you.
And so at the end of the day, and also to backtrack, all the legal, anyone that wants to come with our company, we take care of all the legal things.
Of course.
And we make sure you have non-disclosure laws, all of those things, you're fine. You're copyrighted. No one can steal your material.
Solid.
Indeed. And so this pilot that's coming out is it's like 7 episodes of just raw talent. And I really don't know how much more I can say without giving it away. And I'm sure the other person involved that's listening is someone laughing and smiling at the same time. Because it's a wonderful, and we promote, we'll sit down and we have a think tank. And I said, guess what I'm interested in doing? And these people, that's all demographics.
Yeah.
And then when you promote it, they're like, I like that.
Yeah.
So you take note. And then you take note. And I had this thing, I'm not going to do that so I can say it. And Chelsea was involved. Mm-hmm. Well, at least I asked her to be involved. And it's called Sitting with Friends. And if somebody want to take this and run, what do you have my permission? Sitting with friends is when you sit down and you poetically just kill it.
Yeah.
So you're sitting around, because I have a fire pit in my backyard, and I go and we light the fire pit and we just enjoy life. But then also creativity comes. Sometimes I'm there by myself, but I have my pad and pen. And so you just make mental notes. So the initial pilot was we're sitting around the fire pit and sitting with friends, and one person would talk about a subject, and then another person would expound on it poetically. And we really, really thought about that. But you had too many artists involved, because you need real artists for that.
Yeah.
And so to sell that, you would need, and I know some poets that would knock your socks off, but they would charge you to. So we came up with another pilot, and it's more so on what I bring to the table as far as comedic. I think you'll love it.
Yeah, we're excited to see it. I'm not just excited to see the pilot, but I'm excited to see the growth. I mean, you guys just started in April, man. You've been working your faces off. I always tell people, you get people who ask, what's the secret to success? How do I, the 5-step successful plan, what do I got to do? And it just comes down to hard work. There's no 10-step plan you can do. There's no formula. There's no method. It just comes down to genuine, true hard work, working your face off. And it seems that you guys have been doing that. I think that the fruit is there. If you just started in April, man, you've been putting out stuff and you've been growing and establishing and building something. So from one entrepreneur to another one, kudos, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
But you've been doing it for a long time, so this is nothing new for you. In this field, right? It was maybe a little new, but the work ethic is the same. So give us some information. How can we find out more about Andre Renee Writes Publishing? How can people contact you if they've got questions, if they want to submit an idea? Where can they go? What can they do? How can we find you?
Best way to contact us is through our email, through our website. It is www.andrerenee.com. That's Andre Renee Writes. .com.
Solid. You on social media at all?
We own all of that.
All of that. How can we?
If you put in Andre Renee Writes, all of that stuff will come up.
Awesome. So please, if you're savvy with the Book of Faces and the Instagrams and all that good stuff, look him up on social media. Go to the website. Please support. We're going to have you back on.
I appreciate
Chelsea's going to make sure of that, I know. But
Indeed.
I want you to come back on because I want to check back in a few months to see how everything is going, man. And any way possible, our show can be a help to what you guys are doing, man, and help kind of promote and grow. Let us know, man. We're excited for you. Salute, brother, to everything that you're doing and your entire team. Thank you so much. We're going to take some pictures afterwards, man. But, yeah, great interview.
Thank you.
This was solid, man.
Appreciate it.
Were you nervous?
Not at all.
There you go. He was smooth, man.
Appreciate it.
Knew what he was doing. We'll be right back. You're in the studio with DA. Up next, we got some more music. We're going to hop into some news, and then we'll wrap up the show, all right? So stay tuned. Keep rocking with us. 887 FM, WGVE.
Got a book for you?
Oh, man, that's solid.
So my dad, I just ordered 50,000 gigs, 50,000 gigs or something. I probably got a setting off or something.